radio for these motherfuckers. Today we have a special guest. His name is Ash Belcastro. He is the owner, the founder of Engage Fight Gear. What's going on, Ash?
Hey mate, how are ya? I'm well.
Am I right about all that?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. We're Australian fightwear brand. Engage coming up. Been around for a few years now, and starting to kind of build our way through Australia and Southeast Asia and
Worldwide.
Yeah. Yep.
Taking
So
over.
you're kind of creeping out of Australia to Southeast Asia, and now you're moving you want to get into like Korea and Japan and
Of course,
China.
yeah, definitely. We've got we kind of Engage started from a few trips of mine to Thailand and kind of built strong lifelong relationships, friendships with a lot of guys that are pretty good at their craft.
Fair to say.
And the brand's kind of grown as their careers have grown, and now we online, got a store in Australia as well, retail store, and we wholesale to Australia, New Zealand and around Australia, and we're just only building and over here on a bit of business in Thailand at the moment. So
Where is your store located in Australia?
I'm in Perth, Western Australia. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Can you understand his Australian accent?
Of course. I've been around quite a few Australians in my lifetime, so I kind of understand most of it.
Yeah.
So does my girlfriend went to school in Australia, but she sometimes has a hard time, so that's why I was asking.
And plus I hear the Australian accent every day, so that kind of helps.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes
But Ash is like super Aussie.
Yeah, I'm from the country, New South Wales, so we talk a bit fast and got a bit of we use different lingo, I suppose someone would say.
That is for sure.
Yeah, it's more like the not the city style. I guess it's more of the Crocodile Dundee style.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I never thought about it like that. It was pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's better. I think it's a better version of the Australian accent.
I think it's more authentic, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if I heard that accent and I didn't see you where you were, I would think that you would be throwing a boomerang at me or some shit.
Yeah,
mate. Like I'll be have to duck and
riding a kangaroo.
Yeah, that would be even crazier.
Yeah.
But now going back to your Engage and like how you started it, right? Like, what was the genesis of that? Like you said, you went to Thailand, and what snapped in your head? Like,
mate, honestly, like it's just I suppose I came to Thailand at a bit of a crossroads in my life where I was like, fuck it. Like I had a couple of mates that had been coming back and forth to Thailand for a while. So I came over to a bit of a fight camp, and I met George and a lot of the other guys through my mates that had been coming for a few years. And what was like meant to be a 2-week trip ended up turning into like a month and a half, and then I fought. And then, it was just kind of, and then, fought. They told me, I fought this guy at Suet Stadium. They told me I trained a month for it, and they told me he worked at a gym. And then after it, they said, he cleans the toilets at the gym. He's he wasn't
Muay Thai. It was a good fight though.
He wasn't much chop, mate. But I got the W. But so I think, man, just honestly, like, got to know the lads, and I had this Engage, and I had like the logo and stuff before from another business, and it didn't work out, and then I was like, came here, and then I think, man, I just had a large ego, and I was like, I can start a fightwear brand, and I can do this. And obviously not having a clue where to start, I went down to the local t-shirt shop.
Just got a ton of them made.
Yeah, printed off a shit ton of t-shirts and tank tops and stuff, and just went and handed them out down the soy,
And when we say handing them out, he handed them out to like the massage places, like the cleaning staff, like the grounds crew, like these old, like nice, sweet ladies from Tiger. They still wear the shirts, like the original ones. Like, I mean, you'll see like random people like on the street, like off the street, riding around on their motorbike, just like random people. You're like, who's that person? Why do they have an Engaged shirt on? He did some damage.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then obviously got back to Perth, and I was like, the fuck? What have I got myself into type thing? And, you know, kind of 3 years later, here we are now. And there's just a lot of times there where I was going to chuck it in, and a couple of times there where I was working with, obviously every day was new. And it was, it was a bit of a build up and a grind, and times where I was going to chuck it in, and times when you have and then you get a phone call or an email and you're like, fuck yeah. And then just now it's building well. So we've got a bit of a team now. We've got a good fight team, always have, but building a good base in Australia, and
a lot of exciting things happening.
Yes, a lot of exciting things.
Well, we just saw Conor McGregor's coach wearing Engage gloves on the All Access.
Yeah, in the build up to the Mayweather fight.
Like in the All Access, in the build up for Mayweather versus Conor, you see Coach Kavanaugh wearing the Engage gloves. So really cool thing for him. Yeah,
it was good. Just little things like that, you know. But yeah, obviously we didn't even pay a cent for that. It was pretty cool. You know, the big brands would have been signing a lot of contracts and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's like millions of views right there.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. But actually got it through a guy. This guy's name's Tim Simpson, and he's a kid from Perth that works at Paradigm Sports Management. He's a good guy, and I ended up giving him a pair of gloves, and he ended up slipping them in there somehow. So it's good.
How long have you been doing it though?
I think I came here at the end of 2013 for the first time. Start of 2014.
2014.
Yeah, the start.
My
January
Australian accent. 14.
Yeah, George has that. He kind of does that when he gets around people. He becomes them.
When I first met George, I fucking hated him. He was a wanker. George was very standoffish, and a lot of the other guys I got to know a lot quicker. But George has this thing against Aussies, because a lot of Aussies that come down to the soy, down the street where Tiger is and all the other gyms. A lot of Aussies come there and they're all covered in tattoos and they're all juiced up and running away from something they've done in Australia or whatever it may be. And so he's just just had this bad image of what Australians were like.
Not anymore, but once we met, we hit it off right away. And now we've traveled together and we've met in different countries and done different shit.
We have, haven't we?
Quite a few stories that we won't share, but
we won't.
Who else did we talk to? He was saying the same exact thing. Like when he first met George, he was like George was doing his own thing. Was it Alex?
Probably. That's like a pretty common, I guess you could say misconception. Like people meet me at first and they're like, oh man, that guy's a dick, or he's a prick, you know. But
then
you're
reserved. You're reserved.
Yeah, I'm reserved. But once I feel comfortable, then I let my guard down, and I would like to think people like me. So
he's a good bloke.
I don't know. I don't really. I remember meeting you for the first time, but I don't really see that you being standoffish or anything like that, though.
Maybe not standoffish. Well,
judgmental look.
Yeah, I think I have I think that's a good way to put it. I think I have a judgmental look. People maybe I'm just nonchalant. I'm just in my own little world and I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah, that's the perfect word, nonchalant.
And I don't mean to look like a prick, but I guess I do come off as that. And
well, you know,
off, but then they meet.
You can't read a book by its cover. The old saying.
Exactly
right?
Right.
That's it. Going back to that story now, how he hated Aussies, and now he dresses like one. He's got tattoos. Gets around with a bum bag. Hey?
That's so Aussie. He said bum bag.
Hey, what is a bum bag?
Bum bag. It's like a man bag.
Like you got a bag hanging off your ass.
Hey, it's like
a satchel.
Yeah, a man bag satchel.
Fucking fanny pack, bro.
Fuck is that?
It's like what's his name had on The Hangover.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was big for a while. But now
there's a certain type of Aussie that gets around with one of them. Usually up no good.
So you know, how long have you been involved in like combat sports? Because you said you fought a Muay Thai fight, you had a training
Yeah,
camp over there, and before
yeah,
that, what was like your involvement?
mate. It's probably I've only really been involved in it since I came over. It's kind of went from 0 to 100 real quick. With I played rugby league my whole life, and I've always followed MMA, mixed martial arts, and I remember hiring VCRs from Video Easy and getting watching the UFC back in the day. You know what I mean? That was the first thing I'd go for. That and like WWE back in the day. You know,
Oh
like
yeah,
back when I was a kid. I just
WWF, right?
yeah, but back in the day, yeah, WWF, yeah. And yeah, mate, like so I just kind of always followed it, and yeah, just always have an interest. And now it's just kind of just how it's all planned out, and yeah, it's always kind of played competitive sport. Yeah, I never, you know, I fought a couple of tuk-tuk drivers, mate. I've never haven't you know, I enjoy the fitness of it and the you know, like the
He enjoys the
battle.
banter of it.
Yeah, I do.
Hanging out with the boys, chatting shit, going to the fights.
Yeah.
Like we had dinner earlier with a couple of the guys from like New Zealand and Australia, and he was just like talking about, like, somebody brought up an event and he was like, oh yeah, so and so and so and so, and I was just like, look at you, just quite the regular now, just knows everybody on the Australian scene, like promoters and fighters. Well, obviously because he sponsored a lot of the guys, but yeah, he's not your average MMA fan any longer.
Nah. So you got to live and breathe what you do, I suppose.
You know, like in Australia, there's a huge boom, right, for MMA right now. Like so many fighters are coming out. So you being based in Australia and having your gear all there, kind of is perfect timing for you,
mate.
Like
tell me
it's
about
booming together. Like you guys are like, you know, going together, and you got all the fighters. But the big question is, you have, you know, a few UFC fighters, right? Yeah. Now, how does that affect you? You know, sponsoring one of those guys.
I think it does, and I think it doesn't in a way, because I think as a small brand, we couldn't really look to pay the purses, pay the sponsorship. If we wanted to be on a main card of the UFC, and they still allowed other sponsors to you know, other fighters to wear say other brands, I don't think we wouldn't win the war of bids, or be able to match what some of the guys are getting. So I think for now, as we build as a brand, it's a good thing, because at the end of the day, like, we can build up and build up and build up, and then one day, hey, we can when they do take that away, because they're gonna, like, I have no doubt that they will. What do you reckon? Reckon Reebok will be around?
About it, but no, I don't. I would agree that, like, whenever that contract runs up, I would think that they'll explore other options. Maybe like have someone different, but maybe let sponsors come back. I don't know.
I don't really like it. Like, from a fighter's standpoint, I don't like it. But from where, like, when I started Engage, I had no idea of like how the MMA industry would be booming the way it is now. It's the fastest growing sport in the world. It's everywhere. It's that many like promotions, and like it's about trying to now, like, for us, it's really, I don't feel that anyone's doing with the designs, and maybe like even like the product line that we've kind of got, or what we're kind of putting into our products at such an early stage of the brand, how long the brand's been around. I kind of think that we're on the up, kind of a lot of things are happening back behind the scenes. We've got all these new drops. We've got another 2 new ranges before the end of the year is out, and a lot of tech's gone into them, and we test and try our products with our pro team, and it's we've got like it's a good time. So for as long as that, to answer your question, I don't really think it's not affecting me in a way that, I mean, we can still sponsor our fighters that we have in the UFC. They can still wear our gear and give our shout outs. When they fight, they wear Reebok. And until that changes, I think we can still, it's not really, I don't think it's affecting me too much.
So you think that for like an up and coming brand, this time right now that Reebok is in here for the UFC, it's actually beneficial for you guys
Oh yeah, I
kind of
don't
get
think
the fighters to
yeah.
wear your gear without having to pay the big money for the main card sponsorships.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, I guess like in
That's
a way.
awesome, man.
Mate, look, like without being politically correct, like
You
like
just say whatever you want.
yeah, mate, yeah, I know, but like it's mate, you pretty much hit it on the head. Is pretty much what I was saying. It's obviously we like we have guys that are on our fight team and we pay them, and then we have guys that we look after and make gear for, and they can sell it and make money off it that way, and there's guys that we just send gear to, and we only really sponsor when they fight. But we're happy to, but with our actual top fight team,
But, for the guys like in the UFC, like if it wasn't for, say, Engage, like some of those guys, like maybe some brands wouldn't want to sponsor them, or maybe they would just give them free gear, and not actually pay them to do the things that they do and to pay the guys that he pays, that are in the UFC or other big promotions. So even though there's, the Reeboks with the UFC and whatnot, it gives like those fighters in those regions, some income and whether it's they get sales or whatever. Welcome home, the younger half.
The young homie.
Yeah, the young homie. But yeah, I mean, it's I think it's pretty cool, especially like you said, like in this time now that Reebok's involved with the UFC, like. Yeah, it's good for their brand,
definitely.
But it's also good for those fighters from those different places that he sponsors, because I would say that most brands, if you're not wearing their stuff on TV, or in like big social media settings, they're probably not getting paid.
For sure.
And that's the thing. We've got to we get hit up for sponsorship most every other day. It's just about how we can. We've got to be selective on who we do sponsor and who's going to represent the brand in the best way. At the moment, our top tier guys are all killing the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. In a certain way, at least in Australia and New Zealand. So, we're always on the lookout for new talent and that.
Sure.
At the moment, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. For a blessing for us the way, because you got other brands like Hayabusa and Venom that they kind of really have been in the game for the last 10 years, and that they were really kind of controlled. When someone fought in the UFC, it was either Venom or Hayabusa. So then whatever they would bid, or whoever they'd have their guys contact whoever was fighting, we wouldn't be able to give them the money they were getting, and like up towards, I've heard up around $30K US, you know what I mean? Sometimes they're paying for the top guys to be wearing their shorts up to 50, so it's something we couldn't compete with, and then it kind of would really take away all the smaller brands that are on the up. But
so it's kind of the Reebok deal, in my viewpoint. I'm not saying like in like the industry's viewpoint, but in my viewpoint, it's like, for the top fighters, it hurts them more than anybody, because like you said, they're not getting that 50K, that 100K a fight, to wear gear. It also hurts the top industry leaders, like you said, like Hayabusa and those guys, because they don't get that exposure that they want.
Yeah.
But for the middle level guys, the guys that are coming up, especially even the fighters that are coming up, it actually helps them more, with this deal, because they get paid from Reebok, but also they get, other avenues of, revenue for themselves, for sponsorships from other companies and, clothing, gear, or whatever. So I guess it's good for everybody, except for the top guys and the top industry leaders in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it's everything has its good and bad sides, I guess. But
For sure.
definitely.
Did you hear this conspiracy theory? Now we're going to get into some conspiracy theory about Reebok, right? And I want to hear your viewpoint, because you're in the industry, and George too. They're saying that the Reebok deal is part of the Fertitta brothers, like kind of making the sport a little bit more like a organized, like a sport. They have like uniforms and blah, blah, blah. It was kind of to mask, the sponsorship. And then they brought in USADA on top of that to make the sport look clean to sell the UFC. But really, it wasn't to benefit the fighters or benefit anybody else. It was just basically USADA and Reebok deal. This is a conspiracy theory that's running around right now.
It sounds good, in my opinion.
I think, like, no one does nothing for no reason. So,
that's
like,
that's the quote of the week.
That is, like,
that is the quote of the week.
Like, everyone's got a, no one does nothing for nothing. So, obviously they've made those moves for, I think USADA's a good move anyway. I think that's kind of something that had to happen. But, whether they have like a little bit of how they, have pushed.
I mean, it sounds.
Mate, they're the ones getting the money. Like, Reebok would be paying how much to,
I thought it was $500 million deal or something like that.
Exactly. So, like, they're making bank off it, and they're with a plan to sell it as well. And they're using that. If it was, then they're using that. Hey, what I mean? We're getting paid X amount to have Reebok here. And they throw that in the package too, So,
I mean, it sounds like a pretty good, like, I never once thought about it like that, but that sounds like pretty, like, nifty to do.
From a business standpoint.
Oh, mate, like they're the puppets, like, like it's little, everyone organising the puppets underneath them, like that. When you have a business that big and you're making moves like that, everything's calculated, everything's
gotta
planned.
stay woke, baby. Gotta stay woke.
So maybe it was. Maybe
No, that sounds.
Or maybe we're just getting deep.
But like I've never once thought about it like that. But man, that's like a pretty good conspiracy theory. Like they just sold that company for how many billions of dollars?
4.2, eh?
Oh my god.
That's insane.
They're saying that it's gonna take 20 years to get the money back.
I feel like that's a shit deal for the guys that just bought it.
The guys that bought it, they should have known that shit.
But the guys that sold it, the Fertittas and Dana, I feel like they're like laughing all the way to bank.
Oh, hard, mate.
Dude, Fertittas just sold the rest of their shares of the UFC.
For how much?
I don't know, but they just sold it all. They just like got rid of it all. Yeah, because you remember when they sold it, they kept some of it. And recently, they just sold the rest of their shares.
Maybe they got a drop on like something that's going on with Reebok or something. But I feel like it's a weird time in MMA right now. It's a very, very strange time.
It is. It's because they've pushed it into a whole new, like, the people that don't even know what MMA is think the UFC is MMA. I mean, how many times have we heard that being said now? Like, recently I have, but it's so true because it's just opened up, like, with the stuff with Conor and stuff like that. Like, you've got people that don't even understand the sport that are following it, that are diehard fans, but it's because it's entertaining, not because they respect the skill level or the heartache that the guys put in that when they fight and the blood, as they say, the blood, sweat and tears that goes into it. Like, it's just because they want to see a knockout. Yeah. They like, it's a total different fan now, I believe, which is what the people that bought it want. Because they're an entertainment company, a media company, like.
But it goes back to, I think, what Alex and I were speaking about last time. It's, what Ash was saying. Yeah, no, it definitely is a different fan, but
which is a good thing, and it's a good thing. But like, like, it builds
for sure.
It's good for me.
It's a different fan, in like in Asia, and like there's different fans. But like we said, like about how fighting in Asia is completely different than fighting in the West.
Yes, a little bit closer. Yeah, he's fine. You're a little bit far, but it's all
right. Mate.
Yeah.
Speaking of the mic.
But yeah, man, like the like how all these industries are intertwined together. You got gyms, you got fighters, you got promotions, you got clothing companies, you got gear companies. Oh, there's more. I'm not even listing all of them. You got management companies. It's all intertwined together. And like for you have a fight gear company, like dealing with like fighters, but then there's the fighters that have managers. But like, is it hard to deal with guys that have manager, or is it better to have a manager?
I think honestly, like I get being contacted by a few different managers and management teams that we work with, And then we've got guys that we just deal with directly, and then we've got guys that I've used to deal with that now have managers. So like, I believe it just depends on the person, man. Like it's not really one or the other. I think it's like we kind of, a lot of things that we do, we've set up kind of, a lot of the people that I sponsor, I know. And we have like this kind of little clicky thing, like where it's, you know, like
the boys.
Yeah. Like,
So you have a relation. You've had a relationship with a lot of the guys, and you kind of you can trust them.
Yeah, we kind of come up.
I would say 90% of the guys that he actually sponsors are like his boys.
Yeah,
that he's met through the journey.
Yeah, and wasn't a thing of like, but you know, then we've got guys that we do send gear to. Like we work with a few guys in America, and we get some gear out to, you know, like UFC fighters, guys on the up. Same as in Australia, but it's just about being able to. Will it work for? It's got to be a win-win. I think it's got to be a win-win for both. You know, like ideally, you know, we'd like our gear everywhere, popping up everywhere. And if I had them out there, you know, if I had 100 units to give away, I would, which I probably have over the kind of couple of years, but which I definitely have. But yeah, I think it just depends on the person, mate. It just depends on the person. But a lot of guys are very easygoing. You know, like we just have like, yeah, and we are like, honestly, like I built the brand off around the fighter. And I know it sounds a little bit like, yeah, whatever, mate. Just want to make money, but yeah, we do want to make money. But because the guys I sponsor are my mates,
it all started as just trying to help his friends out.
Yeah,
like I remember us like sitting around, you know, having some beers and like eating dinner and stuff, and like going out to a restaurant, and it all started literally as like, how can I help you boys out? In his thick Australian accent. But like that's how it literally started.
Then what is some new stuff that's gonna be coming out from Engage?
We've got new headgear, MMA sparring glove, some new style shin guards. We've got a new fight short. So our fight shorts are like our best seller. They're our most, you know, we've got like we've updated our fight short. Everything we're doing now is a lot more techy. We've got a whole bunch of new products, actually. We're just stepping it up a level. We've got rash guards, compression gear. We've got, I said gloves, some new 16-ounce gloves. Yeah, everything we're getting made in gear-wise. Is all handmade in Thailand.
Hence why he's here.
Yeah, so we've got a few mate. I've got like I'm in Bangkok next week, and then have got a few meetings with a few different manufacturers that we've going, make sure all the new orders are going all right and everything's on point. Doing a bit of our own kind of quality control stuff and organising the shipments and stuff like that. So yeah, like watch this space, I suppose. We're coming in hard with some new, everything we do is going to be quality, and that's kind of what we pride ourselves off at Engage. Is to have the quality and like I said before, everything we do is tested for our fighters. Like if I get new stuff in, I'll send it to Georgia, I'll send it over to New Zealand with Izzy or Brad Riddell or, you know, like all these guys, and I get their feedback, and then we kind of go from there, change a few things. And yeah, it's good. It's always, this part's the best part about it is bringing out the new stuff, you know. So it's the fun. Sure. It's the fun part, you know.
Do you design like all the shirts, or do you have somebody else that you work with?
No, yeah, like so I've got in my team, I've got my my graphic designer Curtis, and he's like brand management. So he runs a lot of the branding and stuff like that. We work together on a lot of stuff and come up with a few things, like a lot of ideas, and we run with a few, and then a few we put in the back burner, and like we just like, so we'll get a new product, and then we'll do like 10 different designs, graphic designs, and work out what we can do to the leather. Say it's a pair of shin guards, we'll work out what we can do to the leather, if we can use, you know, like artificial leather, and how that reacts with what we want to do to it. And it's just, the list goes on, mate. Like it's you know, obviously because everything we do now is going to have a reason behind it, and a drop, like in a campaign, from a marketing point of view, and how we do it. So everything will have a story. So like if we're going to drop a pair of shin guards, a pair of gloves, and maybe some shorts will come with it, with the same kind of design. It's not just going to be like a one-off thing. So yeah, so everything's kind of new and improved. It's our second. We dropped everything. It's kind of this time last year. Went full out, didn't we? And then yeah, so we've got a bunch of stuff. We did a bunch of women's wear as well, active wear, which is kind of tested the waters with that. And it's all we'll drop maybe one or two things for that next year, but we're mostly just going to be focusing on the fight wear for now and fight gear. And yeah.
Going to the marketing, you were talking about marketing, right? Like, do you really need to invest that much into marketing with like you said, you got fighters, they got social media. Some of these guys have like 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
Instagram, all that stuff. So
definitely do need to put money into marketing, even though it's that's the biggest beast. That's the biggest beast. Like the thing is you can have the best quality gear, the best designs, the best, but people are always going to choose Nike over old mates just brand down the road on the corner, because it's how it's marketed. It's who's wearing it. It's what it is, because that's all they know. Subconsciously, whether they know it or not, they know it because it's been marketed to them for years. So yeah, you've got to be everywhere. And that's one thing we're trying to do now is be everywhere, and how we market the brand, but be quality. So when you do see it on someone, it's going to be someone, it is quality. And the way we kind of, who we sponsor and how we sponsor people is to almost, if you're sponsored by Engage, you've kind of, as one would, without saying being too cocky, it's to kind of be, you've made it type thing. You know what I mean? We're quality, and that's how we want to push the brand, is to be quality. And we look after the guys we are in our team and part of our family.
I can vouch for that. It is like a family. The dudes with Engage, like Ash takes care of everybody. So
like I said earlier, that you see Engage a lot more nowadays than you did maybe even a year ago. All over the place. Like being, like, of course North America is like the demographic for fighting in North America, selling your gear. It's the biggest market, right? Most likely. Next to that would probably be Brazil, right? So but like you being in Australia, like you said earlier, that you have like some connections in North America, and but like, when do you plan on like going full force into like those markets?
Mate, we've really got to kind of really start to dominate Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. We don't want to grow too big too early and kind of bite off more than we can chew. And then obviously when you start to do that, your quality will drop. But you can't be everywhere at once, and you can't do everything yourself. So this is what we're finding out a lot most recently, now that we're really getting things really picking up. Like we've got 3 or 4 different aspects to the business, which is, they're all based around sales, obviously. Point 3, we make money via online, through the retail store, wholesale, and then we also do a customized system, which is for any gym in Australia, New Zealand, or anywhere around the world, in fact, where we can have any Engaged product, and we'll design with their logo and with our design team, a customized order of 25 units per style, per design, which is a big thing for us. We do a lot of gyms in Australia and New Zealand, and it keeps us like steady as a business on a baseline level. So we're kind of busy with that at the moment before we look at the American market, and distribution and drop shipping, and there's so many different aspects to how it is, like we're, I welcome it, but in due time, we really want to be hitting that market when we're well and truly got our socks pulled up, as one would say.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good plan, because you don't want to have overload, and then you just
speak too early.
You just pretty basically, to say it, prematurely. You know what I'm saying, right?
George knows a bit about that.
So, like with promotions, right? A lot of the promotions, what I've seen is they kind of have their brands that they're kind of pushing themselves. You know, so how hard is it, like, other than the UFC, we talked about that, but like other promotions, not naming promotions, but how hard is it to deal with promotions, you know, outside of the UFC to get you here, you know?
I think locally in Australia, it's good we're trying to, that's one push that we're really pushing at the moment is trying to get involved with every promotion in Australia. And, you know, I have a good relationship with a few of them now. I have like really good guys. And it's been easy. Like, honestly, like it's kind of, with different personalities and everything, you're going to come across people you don't like and people that, you know, like you know, but mate, honestly, like as long as it's a win-win for both parties, mate, everything's been good. Everyone has that one end goal, and I think it's to push MMA in Australia and drive it to kind of, someone said to me the other day, it's about bridging the gap between the people that think that people know the UFC, but they don't know any other promotion. So it's about pushing that and bridging that gap to where it's a known sport. It's a known, like, it's, you know, like, oh yeah, you've got the UFC, but then you've also got Bellator, you've also got like whatever promotion it may be, to build it up in their area. So in Australia, you know, you've got, I could rattle off a whole bunch, you know what I mean, like of promotions, you know, like your Eternal or and you know, Hex, Urban, Hex. So yeah, like there's that many. Like I think there's like 4 different ones in Queensland alone, you know. And then there's, you know, like it's, yeah, but yeah, like that's our biggest key, and that's our key to pop up and help the grassroots of MMA in Australia, which is what you want to do, which is be, you know, have people, you know, be involved in the local promotions. And so another way of marketing, to be honest with you. And that's, yeah, the amount of, we do all our all our marketing we kind of learn ourselves, because it's just kind of, I've spoken with that many different marketing companies, and obviously being a brand on the up, you're going to get hit up by people that want to make money off you. And marketing businesses, you know, they'll use different lingo and whatever else to try and trick you. And, you know, like we just ended up doing it ourselves and learning ourselves. I've got a great team. Well, everyone that works with, and I
can give credit to him for, like, we were speaking at dinner tonight. He's learned a lot of the stuff. Like, one of the guys' girlfriends was like doing something online. I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm learning how to do this, like chop and edit and do stuff like whatever it was." And he was like, "Oh, well, this is what I use," because he learned how to do it all himself. So yeah, I think it's like anything. You've got to kind of, it's like fighting. You got to do it yourself and learn, you know. Just immerse yourself in it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And now it's the day and age where if you want to do something, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You can't rely on somebody to teach you how to do it. And, you know, and even the person that's teaching you might not even know all about it either. You just,
mate, it's a bluff, mate. Like everyone, I mean, like I've had marketing companies come to us and say, yeah, 13.5K up front and then 5K every month. And it's like, for fucking what, mate? Like, what are you going to do for me for that? You know, I mean, when I'm spending X amount, now we're spending, you know, X amount now doing it ourselves, and you can track everything, and you got to learn, you know. I don't physically do it myself. I've got a guy that does it for me, but that I like going to the gym and training. He likes sitting in front of, you know, in the back end of my website and building it and developing it, and you know, like
sacrifice to live the good life.
Yeah, like that's what he does. Like, you know, like that's his enjoyment, which is awesome. And like, we've got a good team that works for Engage, and like myself, Curtis, the graphic designer. We've got Ray that does all our click for pay stuff and a lot of our back end stuff in our website. Then you got Steph, she's from Canada. She does all our social media and events planning and organises shoots and stuff like that. And you got a whole few other people.
He's got a whole squad now, and he's living the good life.
We're rolling deep.
And then you started just you by yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, myself.
Started by himself, just giving a couple of us shirts and the squad
and some old ladies.
Yeah. You can't forget the old ladies, mate.
Life. Yeah.
They all need loving, mate.
Yeah, the old ladies are.
Nah, it's good. It's good.
Let's so do you follow like the UFC and, you know, like ACB? Do you follow MMA? Are you a big fan?
Yeah, I do. Like I obviously was saying, like I do. It's on my TV all the time, or I've got it on Fight Pass. So you always gotta stay onto it or popping up. You know, like I go into my Facebook feed and it's just MMA. But you know, like it's yeah, it's me life now.
What do you think about the whole John Jones thing?
Fuck, man. I know some people that know, like, did it quite close to that situation. And, like, the people that know people that are. And, I don't know, mate. Like, fuck. Like, look, you don't know what to believe. You don't know what how the media twists things or whatever it may be. But, hey, if you come up dirty and it's there and he's dirty, unless someone's spiking his drink. But I've heard from firsthand that, you know, like he wasn't even unless he cracked the bottle and he bought the drink, he wasn't fucking drinking anything during that, you know. So like, and that, you know, that's what I've been told directly from someone that was, you know, that knows it, that was there.
How crazy is it that you're to that point in your life where
It's insane.
you're like watching what you have to drink? You're like a goddamn king or something. Like someone's trying to poison you or some shit.
Yeah, like
That's insane.
it's, you know, like it's, you know, like whether is it like that or is it paranoia? Is it like, or is it, you know, you just don't know. Like, well, you've got to have some kind of motive to be doing that. Now maybe his last time that when shit hit the fan, maybe that's what happened. Maybe he honestly didn't know how he came up positive. And that's probably why he was like that this time. Now, fuck knows what he did, mate, but shit, it's there. It's in black and white. You're dirty. So what do? You got people that will believe him. You got people that can't. Only he knows the truth. And that's something he's got to live with. But
Yeah.
from I'll tell you what, like he would have been like my number one guy I wanted to sponsor. Like just because his attitude and like, you know, like you just,
Regardless if
but not
he
anymore. So
was dirty or not dirty, the dude's got skill and
yeah, I don't understand why if he did do it, man, like he doesn't need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
he's a freak, bro.
so that would then make you think like, would he do it then if he doesn't need it? Then why would he do it? I suppose I don't know. Why do we do what we do? I suppose.
Even I think even DC, he was saying the exact same thing. Is that he doesn't need to do it. Why would he do that? Like that's what everybody's saying, and it's weird how a lot of people are like jumping on the boat to where, you know, the boat that everybody's saying is that maybe he is innocent. It's weird, like people are saying that when the test is dirty, both tests came back dirty.
Yeah.
And people are saying, I believe John Jones for some weird reason. But like you said, it's black and white, man. Like you test dirty, you test dirty.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, put him
Put him
on a
on a
lie
lie-
detector.
Put him on a lie detector. You know, like
Put him under the waterboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, he
Like,
is
like, when I
super
saw
talented.
Yeah, he's so talented. When I saw that thing come out about him, like after he beat Cormier, because like I wanted Cormier to win, but like I thought John would win, but I wanted DC to win. But when I saw that thing, like I remember like waking up because of the time difference, and like it's the first thing I saw on Facebook. Like when I woke up and was like having coffee, and I was just like, "You've got to be kidding me! Like this can't be true. Like,
No.
This is absurd. It's ridiculous." Like, who would have thought after all the obstacles he's been through, that would have happened again? So,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
crazy.
moving on. Valentina, did you watch that fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what did you think about that fight? That fight was, I don't know.
It wasn't the
it was
most
a-
action-packed.
It wasn't action. It was technical.
It was
Like,
that was
super technical.
Yeah.
very technical.
And I thought it was a close fight. I didn't think it was like, like it was so, you know, outright that this person won. but I thought it was a close fight. But I believed that Valentina won the fight.
So
Yeah, I think a lot of people did, mate. I think honestly, I think I just went blank. What's her name? The Lioness.
Nunez.
Nunez. I think Nunez actually deep down in herself knows she got beat. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe
I think her body language was different building up to it. Like, I feel like the first time she was like trying to punk her all the time. Like, it's ridiculous.
Mate, it's a tough. Valentina's a tough fight for anyone.
Yeah, I think Valentina, like, because that's Valentina's like style is like she's not offensive. You know, like she is offensive, but she's a counter puncher and a counter striker, and she's damn good at it. And she typically takes a little bit to get going. And I think that I think she won the fight. And I don't want to say that because obviously she trains at Tiger and I'm biased towards her. But as a wrestler, I've come to like appreciate like it's MMA, you know, it's not wrestling. It's not you just take the person down and you hold them there. Like, yeah, maybe you take that person down, but they're hitting you with punches and elbows as she was doing in the third round when she did get taken down. Like, granted, I don't think she should have gone for the move that she did.
Yeah, but if she pulls that off, then it works,
right?
Mate.
And if
like people wouldn't be saying that.
And that's
like,
another point.
It's the thing. You know,
that's
like,
another thing. Like,
she went with what it was there. That was on. Like, it was there. Like,
and she did it, and it didn't work. But she did get taken down, but she still was like beating her up from the bottom. Like she was punching in her and elbowing her, and
she's doing more damage from her back.
Yeah. And Nunez literally took her down, and you could see her looking at the clock or looking at the camera, corner, but she was getting punched and elbowed in the process. Yeah. So for me, like, yeah, she got the takedown, but what did she do with it?
That one round doesn't win her the fight because she was getting beaten up until she got the takedown. Does that takedown really give her the round? Like,
exactly.
Really?
The takedown is a takedown. It counts for something, but it doesn't count for
everything.
Such a huge amount of that round. You know what I mean?
Like it was like the last 30 seconds.
I agree, and I think that MMA, like, of course, like, well, because of like the Canelo and Triple G fight, like, of course the judges, like, sometimes there's something wrong, but I think in MMA scoring, for sure, there needs to be some rule changes. You know, in my opinion.
I think there was one round there, like, well, because I was obviously watching it. And, I thought Valentina won as well, but my opinion was obviously like
it was definitely a close fight.
It was a close fight, but there was one round there when Nunez didn't even throw a punch. Like, I dead set didn't see her throw a punch, and
or she was.
It was like fourth or third round. Like, honestly,
it was weird. That one of those middle rounds, was really weird round.
She didn't throw a punch, mate. Like, so how can, like,
and if she is punching and she's missing, or they're getting blocked, like, what does that count for?
Or she scores one like punch in the round, and then like it's like what? So she gets counted 4 or 5 times, landed clean 4 or 5 times in a round, but then throws one power shot and connects, and that's a definitive strike in the round, which then will score. Like, it does, mate. Like, it's just, I think it's styles make fights, as they say, and that's stylistically how the judges judge the fight. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think anyone that knows fight, like, honestly, that can have a non-biased opinion, and has knowledge in the game, would say that Valentina won that fight.
Well, you know, she dislocated like 2 of her fingers in the first round. Yeah. I think that kind of had a lot to do with her engaging, you know, more than, you know, she did. Valentina, I'm talking about. Because I think in my prediction, I thought that she was going to start slow like she does and get used to what Amanda was doing and then finish her like in the later rounds. That's what I thought was going to happen. But I think her hand, like her hurting her hand, affected her in what she wanted to do.
But I guarantee you she didn't use that as an excuse.
No, she didn't.
She's a beast, mate. She's just like straight through. Like,
hey, did you see her when she did the Michael Jackson at the end of when she was doing the post-fight interview? Yes. When she was shaking her head with her arms out like Thriller. She did the Thriller.
But, mate, that's the thing. I did watch the post-fight interview, and like, she had no excuses, mate. Yeah. She had looked, and she even got asked about her finger, And it just shows the character. She got asked about her finger. She could have said, used that as an excuse.
That's
but,
not her,
mate,
though.
that's not her. And then Nunes, she was whinging about a foot or a leg or something like that.
Yeah.
So, mate, you like, why are you even bringing that up? Valentina dislocated 2 fingers, got asked about it, brushed it off like it was, oh, yeah, I dislocated them, no worries. I got ripped. Like, didn't use that as an excuse. Didn't use a leg as, like, now old love's going on about a leg. Like, come on, mate.
Yeah. And Valentina's shin was bleeding since, like, I believe the first round. Like,
I think it was like the first or second round. Her shin was split open from like a,
Kicking.
I think it was from like a,
a kick or something.
Yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you guys about was, now, you know, nowadays you see a lot of dudes kicking the calf and not the thigh. Which from a long time ago, I thought that would be a better offensive weapon, is to kick the calf. If you've seen the Jeremy Stevens versus Gilbert Melendez fight, he beat up that calf. And from the first round, it was like basically over, that fight.
Well, I think in like MMA, like Vincent Henderson made it like quite popular. I think in Thailand, it's like a normal either kick the leg or kick the calf. But I cornered one of our fighters one time in Japan, and he got kicked in the calf quite a bit in the first round, and it definitely limited his offense. And that's when I think the first time like I became like quite a believer in the like kicking low in the calf, because it definitely works. So yeah, I think that in MMA it's still like it's being used more. But I'm definitely a believer in it after seeing that.
Yeah, I love that kick.
I think if you're gonna get kicked anywhere repeatedly, it's gonna fuck you. But I mean, I wouldn't have a technical comment on that.
I think just because like when you kick like higher up in the leg, it's easier to check. Whereas if you kick and you aim for the calf, and let's be honest, like in MMA, it's not Muay Thai. You know, like in Muay Thai, everyone's more upright. And it's more straightforward and straight back, so it's easier to actually check kicks. Whereas MMA, the stance is a little bit different, and people are moving around a lot more, so it's harder to check kicks. Like in MMA, sometimes you can't check a kick, and you just kind of sit down on it and let it slide up your leg, or you try to catch it. But when you're kicking to the calf, it's like much harder to check because it's much lower.
Did you hear Edmund? What is his fucking name? Ronda Rousey's coach. He came out.
We were talking about that the other day.
He was talking about
what we said
tonight. Well, I think you're gonna say what we were talking about at dinner.
Oh, really? Like he said that he wants Ronda Rousey to come back for one fight, and he already knows who he wants her to fight, which is Cyborg.
Yeah.
Is this dude on the acid or what, man? What's wrong with this guy?
Stop. Just let her.
Is he on the mushrooms?
He wants to fight.
What's going on with
let
her?
her fight and get her like a decent matchup. But stop. Like, unless the only reason is because she would probably get paid because everyone will want to see that fight.
Mate,
I don't even know about now if they would want to see it. But
it's about bank.
Yeah.
The coach would want to. The coach will get paid. That's what he wants to do.
But he wants to be in the limelight again. You know what? You wouldn't like, and this is my opinion, but like, if you go back to like what we were saying about how like the owners of the UFC, like how they set things up like with the to sell it. If you look at how they, all right, so Ronda's like, it's kind of been at a certain level that she's been at. Has she gotten better? I mean, or was she's always at that one level and they picked their fights to build the brand of MMA in women's, I know when the MMA came to Melbourne and they sold out the Melbourne Arena or whatever it's called, like an actual stadium, 80,000, 90,000 people, and Holly Holm knocked her the fuck out. Mate, MMA was booming in Melbourne, booming, like in women's mixed martial arts, booming. Now, is that a standpoint of, okay, we're going to build you up, make you, you know what I mean, until it got to a certain point where she just couldn't fight certain styles of fighters because there was none left to fight her? Or was she really a great champion? Is it just the marketing that they put behind it?
Yeah,
Was she always the same fighter? Has she gotten better? Personally, I think that she's just always been Ronda who she is now, and I don't think she is at the caliber that people thought that she was. Not to take anything away from her, that's my opinion.
I'll agree with that 100%. I think she was great for the sport and great, especially for women's MMA. She was definitely an icon. I think like MMA people, and I say this all the time, MMA fans especially are delusional. They're delusional people, and I truly believe that. I think that she accomplished so much in the sport, and I think that she beat like Sarah Kaufman, like she beat some good people,
She's world class, like she's Olympic.
Definitely,
like I'm not taking that away, but she's at that level. She was always going to be. She got
to that point, and Holly Holm was just on a different level, as is obviously Cyborg and a lot of other people. Yeah, Nunes, like a lot of people. Valentina, I would believe would thrash her.
Valentina's the best in that weight division,
and I agree with that as well. But I just think that like she saw her day. It's coming. It's gone, and it is what it is. It's not much more than that.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be putting her in front of Cyborg.
Unless she's going for the payday, she's going to get thrashed.
Who else is Cyborg going to fight, though?
Well, they just brought the Invicta champion up to fight her, and that girl lasted quite a few rounds. Like, I don't know. I'm sure they'll find
so the only fight that's left.
Goes on, she's getting older. It's
who? The only fight that's left.
Ronda.
No.
They're trying to make money. Like you said, the new owners, it's about entertainment. And who is the management company that controls Ronda?
Yeah.
The new owners.
They've probably got her under contract too, saying she's got to have X amount of fights before she can retire. That's
exactly.
The thing is like, you got Aussie, Megan Anderson.
I don't know the Aussie scene too well.
The interim champion that got signed, is it Megan Anderson?
Oh, yeah.
Like she was due to fight, and then she was due to fight Cyborg, and then got dropped out.
Hey, make Cyborg fight the girl that Geronimi or whatever.
Yeah, but Geronimi didn't want to fight her, did she?
Yeah, no, she didn't want to fight her, but in my opinion, that's the most legit person, not Ronda.
Nah, like the thing, I think Megan Anderson will fight her next. That's a Megan Anderson's on the up. She's young, Aussie. She's calling the fight out too. She called her fight out, and then I think she got injured or she had some personal dramas where she was meant to be in fight camp for it. They were meant to fight in the latest fight. She's one to look out for. She's bigger, but she's
Aussie MMA scene on the rise.
On the rise.
I think the UFC, they don't want Cyborg. They kind of just are stuck with Cyborg.
Yeah.
They really don't want her to be anything, to be honest with you.
I just saw the other day they still she had that big thing on social media about
she was the male heavyweight champion.
Yeah, they still had her heavyweight champion online on the app or whatever, which is small to us, but it's probably a big thing to her, which I can understand.
Yeah, that's if you were the champion.
Shout out to Cyborg for getting tattooed at Indeed Tattoo last week.
All right, for sure.
She's back in town.
Yeah, she's in town. She got tattooed.
Is she still here? Or is she still there?
I think she might be. I saw on her social media she was in Malaysia or something recently, but I think she may be coming back. I'm not sure.
Who is here? One of Ronda's scalps is here.
One of what?
Oh, one of Ronda's scalps. Ronda
Brazilian. She beat?
Yeah, she's here. What's her name?
Betch Carrera's there too.
Yeah, she's in town.
She was with Cyborg, bro.
Yeah. They're Brazilians.
There's a lot of people down there right now, from what I've seen. Isn't Misha down there too?
Yeah, he's training at Tiger.
Yeah, he is there actually. Yeah, we've sent him some. That's a guy that we've sent some gear to.
That.
Yeah.
I'll set that up.
Yeah.
Meet up.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Misha's a Tiger.
Yeah.
There's a few guys at Phuket too, I heard.
Yeah, he's a very good dude.
There's a few Mark's there.
Yeah, Mark Hunt's at Tiger.
Big Bam.
Tayavusa.
Yeah. Don't mind him, mate. Yeah, there's a few good lads. There's a few guys from fighting on.
There's some other Brazilian fighters at Phuket Top Team. There's a lot of people in Phuket.
Yeah, Ricardo Alameda, I think. He's down there right now.
Right, some guys fighting on Glory soon too
Yeah.
that are in camp.
There's a guy
Kickboxers.
Junior who's fighting Glories with Mark Hunt, like with that whole crew.
What's up with Mark Hunt in that interview that he did, where he's talking about like he notices himself slurring his words and
I saw that actually, but I didn't
forgetting things.
Yeah, I didn't really read it.
That's what he was saying though.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure.
guess like I didn't listen to it, but I guess maybe he said it in passing, or did he directly say it?
Yeah. Who knows, mate? Like
Yeah.
he's
I can't comment on it because
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
he's like I've met him a couple times, and he sounds like from speaking to him because he's training there. Obviously, he seems like a really like humble, down to earth guy, and he seems like a pretty switched on guy. So who knows, like with that article.
Maybe he genuinely does, and there's a genuine article, but I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know nowadays.
I'm gonna dance around that question, mate,
Yeah.
because he's in town.
And I don't know him well enough.
Nah.
Like from what my interactions with him, he seems like a sound dude, and like he's just like a nice guy. Like I've seen him taking photos with kids and like.
Yeah, but I mean,
But who knows?
man. Yeah.
I don't know him that well.
So, Ash, like, what's your plans? Like, you gonna be down there for a few weeks or?
Yeah, I've been in meetings. I got in on Sunday night and we've just had a few meetings and a few things going on. Bit of research and development for the brand, and then I'm off to. We've got a
Pattaya this weekend. We got
yeah.
Saxurin, Big Top. We got Top Noi, and the Prodigy Nongla, aka Loma, fighting this weekend in Pattaya.
All MMA fights.
Yeah, for MMA fights for
All
a new promotion called Rock Wars. Got some good backing with True Vision, I believe, and yeah, so it's gonna be a good weekend. And then
Oh, so you guys are gonna be in. Well, how do you? I thought you pronounced it Pattaya, but it's Pattaya.
Yeah, he thinks he's Thai.
No, I think, yeah, Pattaya or Pattaya.
Pattaya.
Whatever.
Well, no, us Aussies say Pattaya.
Pattaya. All right, so you guys gonna be over there this weekend partying
Yeah.
up? Because I heard about Pattaya. Once you go there, you ain't never coming back,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I've never been,
I got
mate.
a missus now, so I'm not so much worried about it. But 2 years ago, I would have been worried about it.
Yeah, I don't drink, so I haven't drunk for a few months now. So, mate, I might just take the scrunchie out and let me hair down over there. You never know. Yeah, but mate, I'm headed there, and then from there I'm off to Bangkok for some meetings with manufacturers, and then it's back through to a couple of nights in Singapore, then back to Oz to rip back in. So this is it's obviously good to get over here, and everywhere I go, fly the flag for Engage, and the more I do, the bigger the brand gets, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. We're not going anywhere. We're here to stay, and it's exciting. There's no other brand like us, Australian brand like us in Australia and New Zealand, doing what we're doing in the fight industry. Like there's some big brands there, obviously, like that. But from a point of view, like Australian made, like homegrown brand, it's in the fight industry that's coming up with stuff like, with the designs and stuff that we do. There's no one really like us, so it's an exciting time, and can't wait to see what the future holds.
So Australia's #1 best fight gear, t-shirts,
Fight gear,
Gloves,
women's gear,
fight
gloves,
wearing apparel,
shin guards, everything you need. You go to engageind.com.
Yeah, that's us.
And the next level is Asia. After Asia, you're gonna go for the rest of the world. Grab them by the throat.
Mate. Yeah, definitely, mate. We're we're planting a few seeds over here as we speak, actually. So you never know, mate. We might just sprout anytime soon. So no, honestly, we are. Yeah, mate. It's a very big year for us, and only going to get bigger and better. And when the time comes, mate, we're going to look to really crack that US market. And really.
So even if I'm in the US, like I could just go to the site, worldwide shipping.
Yeah, we're worldwide shipping, mate. We've just got a standard rate of $30. If you spend $150 or over, you get free shipping worldwide. in Australia, it's spent over $50. It's free shipping. Yeah, and mate, we've got some great deals on there at the moment. Kind of a bit of a clearance before we drop our new stuff. We've got two fight shorts for $100. And you got like two tees for $50. We've got some deals on there. You just jump online and check them out. Use the coupon code ENGAGE to get 10% off your cart. And a little plug for you.
All right, for sure. So go to engageind.com, use the coupon code ENGAGE, and you can get how much percent discount?
10% off your cart.
Yeah, 10% off your cart. Go there, get your shit.
That's right.
Represent the brand, right?
Right. 100.
All right, man. Well, it's so if anybody wants to see them, they're gonna be in Pattaya, and then later on, he's gonna be in Bangkok, then he's gonna be back to Australia. So Ash, thanks for coming on. It was good.
100%.
All right. Well, George, it's always good. Peace.
Peace.
Cheers.